And what we really heard was that lived experience isn't just an optional extra, it's really a driver of better care and better policy. And I also think we should take on board what Joe said at the end too, Joe Watson, about working together, that collaborative voice, what Kirsten said about bringing solutions, not only problems. And the question for you now all in the audience, which Tori alluded to earlier, is what will you do in this role to take this forward? What action can you take to help put the patient at the centre of everything we do and to improve access and equity for patients with rare and less common cancers? So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for all your involvement today, your insights and your ideas on how we can shape and influence policy to create that really tangible change for everyone diagnosed with cancer. And thank you in the audience for your engagement, for listening, for being a fantastic audience, for asking questions, submitting questions, and also for being here for the whole day. And that really is a testament to how dedicated you are to wanting to see change. I want to in particular thank our speakers, Natalie, Kevin and Tennille, who really shared their personal stories, which we know is not always easy, but we value that, you know, above all else. And I'd now like to welcome back Christine Coburn to the stage. She's going to share some learnings about today. So give her a big warm welcome.
I realise I'm standing between you and your beverage of choice, so I will make this quick. A big thank you once again to all of the speakers and the panel guests today for sharing so openly. We had an incredibly diverse conversation, I'm sure you can agree. And so much hope that we're moving in the right direction, albeit far too slowly. I would like to thank the event sponsors who, without whom we would not be able to put on this spectacular event, and welcome so many of you here. Thank you so much for supporting our work. To the RCA team who put on all of this in-house, I will tell you, this was all done. We didn't use any contractors or any companies. We did it all with our own two hands. Particularly Natalie Clancy, who put on the event, and Sarah Benja and her team, who created all the policy content. Thank you to all of you, our audience, for being part of this important day. CAN Forum is about bringing people together and putting people and patients truly at the heart of our work and addressing inequity together. Last night we launched our new policy report, which you've heard about. Now it's personal. The report sets out 6 recommendations that will go a long way to achieving equitable experiences and outcomes for people with rare and less common cancers, and we are ready and waiting to work collaboratively to make these recommendations a reality. The recommendations are evidence-based and cover data, early diagnosis, access to treatments, and the right support at the right time. Progress is not achieved in silos, and while we are deeply committed at Rare Cancers Australia to driving access and equity for all, we cannot do it alone. We're so honoured to have so many people with a lived experience join us in this room today, along with numerous patient organisations. We walk this path together. When we close the day's proceedings in a few moments, I'd like to invite all the patients, carers and advocacy reps from patient organisations to please gather up here on the stage. Be careful on the stairs. We'd like to take a photo of what patient advocacy really looks like. I'd also like to remind everyone that the conversations don't end here. Please join us at 5 o'clock over at the National Press Club, where we'll be having some refreshments and the chance to keep networking with our colleagues and delegates. We hope to see you there. Please bring your lanyards. Please bring your lanyards. I think that's housekeeping. But I'd like to also remind you that after today, our work is not done. Thanks, KP, for finishing my speech and giving everybody a call to action. Let me ask you to consider making these commitments. For policymakers, equity begins with policy. Leave here today ready to champion reforms that close the cancer care gap, not just in words, but in action. For clinicians and health professionals, equity is clinical. Commit to identifying and addressing disparities in care pathways and working alongside patients as partners in their care. For cancer groups and advocates, equity is our mission. Join forces and elevate the voices of those most impacted. Together, let's raise the tide. For researchers and academics, equity is evidence-based. Stay cognizant of what matters to patients and translate findings into real-world change. To those who bring innovative medicines and therapies to Australia, continue to work with us. We are a key partner and we have so much work to do in common that is so important. For those with a lived experience, your voice is power. Tell your story, challenge assumptions, and get involved with the solutions. This space belongs to you. My commitment to you is we will remain dissatisfied and relentless. We have created a social media tile. That might be it there. That will be emailed to all of you, and we encourage you to download and share with your networks and tell them how they can make things personal. How will you make it personal and drive equity for people with rare cancers? I challenge you all to make a commitment to take tangible actions. This cannot be a talk fest. We all agree. Now it's personal. Thank you.